Alright, monocot and dicot stem cross sections. Here's a picture from your book. How do we know this is what is it? It's on monocot, of course. So how do we know the vascular bundles are what? They are scattered. They are scattered. What's all this area in here? What kind of tissue is that? Parenchyma. Parenchyma. What do we call it positionally? Ground tissue, developed from the ground meristem. How come we don't say it's cortex or pith? Well, they're not evenly distributed, but still, there's a little less toward the middle, but still, you can't identify an outer or inner region exactly. So there's no cortex and pith. It's just all called ground tissue. And here is a bundle up close and personal. Again, a picture from your book. And so let's take a look at actual microscope slides of these. And so we see scattered vascular bundles. We see this type of tissue. What is this type of tissue? It is what? Most abundant tissue in plants, it is parenchyma tissue. Here are vascular bundles. Each one has its particular features. We have something up along the outside here. Let's take a closer look. Yeah, the outside layer, we're always going to call that epidermis when we're talking about primary growth, epidermis. But just inside the epidermis here, there are thick-walled cells. And we said that's what kind of tissue? Sclerenchyma tissue. Provides a little bit of stoutness for this corn stem. Not all monocot stems have sclerenchyma there, but corn stems do. Gives the corn stem just a little bit of solidity to the outside. All right, let's move into a vascular bundle then. And here's a vascular bundle. Here's the epidermis around the outside. Here's the this red stuff, sclerenchyma. One more time, what's this? Parenchyma. What's the position name for it? Ground tissue. Okay, here's a vascular bundle. And what type of tissue is this surrounding the bundle? It is called what? Sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma. Then we have these two big guys. They are what type of cells? Xylem. We could say primary xylem, but monocot stems don't have secondary xylem, so we can just call it primary xylem. We just call it xylem, as opposed to this, which is what? Phloem. Xylem, phloem, surrounded by sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma tissue. Sclerenchyma fibers. And here we have our close and personal, looking at what? Phloem. And here we can see the two types of phloem cells we talked about in class. And they are what? They are sieve tube members and companion cells. Which ones are which? Well, these big guys would be what? The sieve tube members, and these little guys would be what? The companion cells. Are they alive or dead at maturity? They are alive at maturity. What flows through the phloem? Food. Carbohydrates flows downward. Yes, it does. And now we move into these big guys. This is what? This is xylem. All right, onto our what? Ooh, this is a what? This is a picture from your book, of course. And it is, we've now moved to what kind of stem? A dicot stem. How can you tell? Vascular bundles in a circle, so to speak, around the outside. And so forming a ring around the outside, you see all these features labeled here. Let's look at this one. Oh, this is from your handout. And so this is kind of a review. On the outside, we see epidermis. What's this brick layer of brick-like cells just inside the epidermis? Collenchyma. What does collenchyma provide for the stem? Flexible support, yeah. And then we have parenchyma in here, and this parenchyma down here would be called what parenchyma? It says pith parenchyma. Ooh, they should have put something up here. What kind of parenchyma positionally would this be? Cortex. Where's the cortex end and the pith begin? Well, just kind of imagine the middle of these vascular bundles. So up here would be cortex parenchyma, down here pith parenchyma. In each bundle we see what? We see primary xylem, and we see primary phloem, and there'll be something else on top of these particular ones you looked at. But then we have procambium or residual procambium in there, at least for a time. All right, let's look at the real stem. And I believe this is sunflower, and we can see epidermis on the outside. We can see what's this layer just inside the epidermis. It is the what? Collenchyma. We see the vascular bundles. Wow, what do we see at the on the top of the vascular bundles? These are fibers. What kind of tissue is this? Sclerenchyma. Inside that there is phloem. Inside that there is xylem. What would this be here, if anything? It could be just totally xylem and phloem, but it could be some residual what? Procambium right along in there. All right, here we are right up at the very edge. This would be epidermis. What would this tissue be just inside the epidermis? What? Cholenchyma. What does it provide for the plant stem, this herbaceous plant stem? It provides flexible support, absolutely. Now we're looking at an actual vascular bundle. What is this again? It is sclerenchyma. What's this? Phloem, primary phloem. And what is this? Primary xylem. And so this is a dicot stem. Do all dicots become woody and have secondary xylem and phloem? No, they don't. There you go. Some dicots become woody, some dicots don't become woody. But if there was some residual procambium, where would it be? It'd be right in here between the primary phloem and the primary xylem. So here we are up close and personal at the top of the vascular bundle. What is this again? What tissue is this? Kind of form me a little cap. It is what? It is sclerenchyma. Sclerenchyma fibers. Fibers. What do we say about fibers in class? They are hollow, thick-walled cells. Does this opening here connect to the outside world? No, it does not. Fibers do not carry anything through it. The fibers, those hollows are just inside the fibers. They don't connect to the outside. And so what do fibers provide, though? Wherever you find them, they provide what? Strength. They're tough cells. Tough cells. And here is what? This is here's the sclerenchyma. We're right inside the sclerenchyma to the what? Primary phloem. And then below the primary phloem, or inside the primary phloem, I should say, we have the primary xylem. Finally, this comes from your handout. Let's do a quick little quiz here. Which one's the monocot? The one on the top or the bottom? The top. What? Vascular bundles are what? Scattered. Dicot, vascular bundles in a ring. What do we have here? We have on the outside epidermis. Inside that, at least for corn stems, you have a couple, three layers of what? Sclerenchyma. And then we have the vascular bundle. What's this tissue on the outside of the vascular bundle? It is what? Sclerenchyma. These big guys are what? Xylem, or primary xylem. What is this in here? Primary phloem. Yes, down to our, excuse me, our dicot stem. A lot of the same things. On the outside, we have the epidermis. Just inside the epidermis, a few layers of a tissue called what? Cholenchyma. Cholenchyma. Then we have the vascular bundle here. This would be what? Here closest to the outside of the stem. Sclerenchyma. What would this be here? Primary phloem. What would this be? Primary xylem. And what could this be here? Could be residual procambium. Residual procambium. All right, ladies and gentlemen, those are your monocot and dicot stem cross sections.